build this e-commerce from the ground up. And so, and that's on top of having a million other things to do. I mean, Jacqueline and Roxanne are working 80 hours a week at the plant right now just to make the food. They're physically making the food so we can get that up to where it needs to be and have our employees there so they can run it on their own. However, when we developed this e-commerce, we said the last thing we'd ever do is to say to our retailers, thank you so much for building us up. Now, goodbye. We're going to sell online for, cheaper than you can sell, which would be totally ridiculous, because we want our ethics to be not only in the food but also in our business. So what we're doing is a little bit different in that the stores can actually participate in that. So the stores, in order to participate in the program, because we encourage people to go to neighborhood pet stores, because neighborhood pet stores are very important to the health of your animal, because if you're buying all your stuff online, who's going to tell you what's good or not?
Right.
Most people don't want to vet pet food. They don't want to be doing a bunch of research. Most people are not nerds like me, and they want to know everything they can about pet nutrition. And so the nice thing about these neighborhood pet stores is you can just walk in and say, okay, I know what this is, and I will, or I know that they vetted the product, and it'll be a healthy product, and so you can just kind of buy it. So in order to participate in our program, stores will have to have the food and the additional line in stock, but then those stores can say to their customers, hey, if you want this delivered to your house, just go to our website, click on the Answers icon. That will then go to our e-commerce store, and then we will send out the product to the customer. The store doesn't have to do anything, and then we'll actually give them a margin off that sale.
Nice.
So it's kind of like an affiliate program.
Yeah.
And so I think the stores can really take that and run. Now, there are some people who live, in Wyoming somewhere where it's 3 hours to the closest store. Now, those people can order just from our website, but we're trying to strike a balance between, protecting ourselves and helping the retail stores and working with our distributors. And so we think that the program is going to work really well, and that the retailers will appreciate the fact that we're trying to include them in the process.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things that I hear from people is, I don't have an independent pet store. And because you live on the West Coast, I live on the East Coast, and literally, I can drive 10 miles and go by, 5 different pet stores, not all carry your product, but I can find a lot of pet stores within a reasonable drive. But there are some people who tell me, look, I have to drive an hour to get to a traditional vet. To find a holistic vet, it's an all-day deal, and to find an independent pet store, is almost impossible. So I get it, and now that I'm going to be traveling across the country in the RV in the next few weeks, and driving up to Nova Scotia last year, we were looking for a veterinary office for a sick dog, and 60 miles later, I was like, "Holy cow! Is there a veterinarian anywhere in this state?"
Yeah. Well, absolutely, and I totally empathize with that. The one thing I will say that I commonly see is people will reach out to us and say, "This store only carries your milk,"
right.
Or this, because for years we were the first people to put raw milk on the market. We created that entire category in pet food. And so those stores, so one rule of thumb is any store that carries any of our products can order you any other of our products, and you'll get them within a week. So it's definitely worth it to say to the store, hey, I see you have Answers goat's milk. Can you order me this food item? And they'll be able to do it for sure.
Right. Yeah, and I tell people that all the time, too. And I tell you an interesting story. One of my clients, she's a diabetic dog, and very fragile diabetic. We are having a really difficult time with this dog. And so I put the dog on the Answers food, and I wanted to use the Answers goat milk as well. And then we did have to add some carbs in to stabilize the dog. But the interesting thing is the local pet store near where she lives, she goes in every week and literally buys them out of everything. And the pet store owner actually yelled at her this week and said, "You come in here and you buy out all my food every week." And like it was a bad thing. And I said, yeah. Wow, talk about a bad salesperson. I mean, how about, well, you could order more, and, oh, by the way, you just cleared your shelves. That's a really great thing. I was like, wow, that's like reverse sales.
It's time to order more food in that case. I think
exactly.
the funniest story I've ever heard in that realm was I had someone call me because I do all the health and nutrition consultations for the company, and I had someone and they said, I went to the store and the employee said, oh, you got to check out Answers. They have this diet specific for kidney animals. You really got to check out Answers. We don't sell it here, but you can go to this store and get it. Thought that was very strange, but I'm glad they're promoting our diets here regardless, but, I thought that was funny.
You would think they would promote them and say, and we have it right here.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, that frankly kind of happened to me, so I have one freezer in my vet clinic, and, it only can hold so much food. And so I started, talking about your food and recommending people buy your food, and I didn't have your food in my freezer, and my office manager kept saying, oh, this food is more expensive, people are never going to buy it, blah, blah, blah. And so, I allowed her to talk me, out of filling the freezer with Answers pet food. And then I started feeding it to my dogs, and I just went, you know what, this is ridiculous. If I tell people that this is what I think is the best diet for their pet, they're going to do this. And then you also said to me at one of the dinners, well, you actually feed less of our product. And I was like, yeah, right, that's just a line. Well, I have to tell you, so when I first started feeding your food, I was putting the normal amount I don't weigh it, so I was just filling the bowl with the same amount of food approximately as what I was doing before. And within a couple of weeks, I'm looking down at all my dogs going, holy cow, you're all fat. So then I actually got my little scale and I weighed out the food, and I said, okay, well, I've been feeding, the correct number of ounces, compared to what I was feeding the same number of ounces before. But I think the difference is your food is higher in fat, which, kind of doubles the calories in the, same weight volume. And so it is true, you actually do feed less. And since we put it in our freezers, everybody loves it. We sell out of it every week and just keep putting more in.
Well, and that also has to do with the fermentation as well. So
so in our next segment, we're going to talk about that.
Yeah, and I will say, in regards to what you're talking about, to kind of close that out, the price per pound is not the actual price you're paying to feed your dog. You will do a drastic amount less of Answers than any HPP product or raw product, basically any frozen product. So the price, due to the fact that you're feeding less, you will pay less for Answers food than virtually anything else on the market, because it's actually the price per calorie, which is the real cost of feeding your dog. So you might pay a little more up front, but it'll last you a lot longer.
Right, and I think that's a really good way to phrase it, the price per calorie. I'm going to have to use that. Can I steal that?
You can, absolutely.
Because that's a really good way to look at it. If you're feeding a high volume of low nutrition food, maybe you're not paying a whole lot for that bag of, kibble full of fillers, but 3/4 of it is coming out in your front lawn or your back lawn and not doing a darn bit of good for your pet. And I'm always amazed when I go to the grocery store and I actually figure out the price per pound of some of the low quality, particularly canned or tinned foods. And and I look at it and I go, wow, people are paying $12 a pound for absolutely the lowest quality thing on the shelf, and I'm kind of blown away, but nobody ever does the math, and the pet food companies know that. Okay, we need to take another break. When we come back, we are going to talk about fermentation, HPP, kill steps, the FDA, all those good things. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a moment.
Interested in learning more? Visit Dr. Morgan's website at www.drjudymorgan.com, where you'll find detailed information about her blogs, a schedule of her upcoming speaking engagements, free information about integrative and holistic medicine, as well as an interactive forum where anyone can ask Dr. Morgan a question completely for free. Visit her website today to join the mailing list, where you'll find exclusive information and promotions only available to those select subscribers. Dr. Morgan is an accomplished author, having published several books about veterinary medicine and home cooking for your pets. You can find From Needles to Natural, detailing her journey from practicing traditional medicine to understanding the healing power of holistic practices today on Amazon Prime, as well as What's for Dinner Dexter and Canine Kitchen Capers, which are two great recipe books that you'll find both delicious and entertaining. When it comes to our pets' health, you can never be too careful. We invest significant time in ensuring that they have long and happy lives, but it's important to invest the same dedication into our own longevity. The key active ingredient in Dr. Morgan's wellness formula, pure New Zealand deer antler velvet, is now available as a standalone human-grade product. Life Deer Antler Velvet is a whole food supplement rich in calcium and collagen to support healthy joints and strong bones. Our products prioritize purity, ethical harvesting, and quality sourcing above all else. Visit lifepurerecovery.com to learn more and order your first bottle today.
Tune in to world-renowned author, speaker, and holistic veterinarian Dr. Judy Morgan, and now radio host of Dr. Judy Morgan's Naturally Healthy Pets on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network every Monday and Tuesday, 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Not sure which vaccinations should be given or how often? Not sure which food is best for your individual pet? Find out the answers to your questions in this weekly show where Dr. Judy interviews top experts and showcases the latest products that will help your pets stay naturally healthy.
Does your dog have bad breath? Tired of spending money on expensive dental procedures? Try out Dr. Morgan's Dental Drops today and save money while maintaining your pet's oral health. With New Zealand deer antler velvet as the primary ingredient, Dr. Morgan's Dental Drops are effective for treating stomatitis, gingivitis, and ulcers. You can purchase Dr. Morgan's Dental Drops directly from Amazon Prime or from her website, www.drjudymorgan.com. Dr. Morgan's Wellness Formula for dogs and cats provides multiple health benefits in one product. Made with all natural ingredients sourced from New Zealand, this supplement can be used routinely to maintain overall physical and mental well-being. This product is particularly beneficial for the maintenance of joint health, nerve and brain function, skin and coat health, immune function, gut health, and liver health. Find Dr. Morgan's Wellness Supplement today on Amazon Prime or at her website, drjudymorgan.com.
Welcome back. You're listening to Dr. Judy Morgan's Naturally Healthy Pets. Today, my guest, Billy Hoekman, and I have been discussing Answers Pet Food, but we're going to branch out a little bit right now, and we want to talk about something that's been big on the minds of those of us who are raw feeding or thinking about raw feeding, and we're worried because AVMA, most traditional veterinarians, the FDA, there's all these different voices out there saying, you're going to die if you feed your pet raw food, your pet's going to die, everybody's going to have salmonella, E. coli, blah, blah, blah. And, it's just contamination in your home and in your environment, and you don't want that. And so the FDA has been pushing pretty hard that all raw pet foods have to have a kill step implemented. So whether that's HPP, which is high pressure pasteurization, for those not familiar with it, adding a bacteriophage that would eat viruses, which I think is actually not even an approved step at this point. And it seems like there have been just dozens of recalls in the raw food market in the past 12 to 18 months. So Billy, you go to the AFCO meetings. I missed the latest one, but you go to the AFCO, I think all the AFCO meetings, and so you get to hear this firsthand as well. Is there really a witch hunt going on? Are they targeting raw pet food companies? What exactly is it that they want the raw food companies to do, and do you think that they are all going to go that route? That was a lot of questions all at once.
Absolutely. 14 questions in a row. So we do have a unique perspective on this issue, and the problem with what's going on right now is there's a lot of misinformation out there from all sides of from all sides of the aisle. So I think I can offer you a really good perspective on how we've dealt with it, and also what people need to understand about this. So there is, most of the testing in the past year, I think 2 years, has been on raw food, and so it's interesting you said that bacteriophages is not an approved kill step. Neither is HPP, actually. So if you actually look at the documentation from the FDA, they say that HPP is not actually enough, that you should also apply heat to it. So in the FDA's mind, it's more about it's not just pressure, which